Greetings and welcome everyone, it's me Dashboard Devil and we are here broadcasting from No Man's High Hub because good buds explore higher. Welcome in everybody. I'm just gonna do some base renovations. I've been kind of tinkering around with one of my earlier bases here on the No Man's High capital planet in Euclid. Yeah, here's the portal. Here's my base down here. And we'll just kind of walk in. This right here, this area, this is where I keep my uh, roamer vehicle. And these wonders right here are scans of all the mushrooms and this other little thingy right there that used to be on this planet. I had scanned them to be able to put on other bases, but then worlds happened and totally changed this planet. Uh, so I got to at least have like a memorial of what this planet used to look like. And there's some great and fun mushrooms here. So let's hop on in here. This was, like I said in the description, one of my earliest bases in No Man's High. And I'm just gliding on the rocks there. I made this sign. It took me a while to figure out a font to use that was kind of consistent. It was fun to make. And yeah, I want to do this on a larger scale somewhere. That'll be fun to do. And here's the pathway into the base. This is like this just like appeared here in one of the more recent updates. I don't know exactly when because it's been a little while since I've been here. But yeah, that one's kind of blocking the road a little bit. But it is better than what the stones that were here before. They were just like these big brown poop looking rocks that I did not like at all. So I'm glad they changed that. And here's the entrance. Let me get rid of myself. And that way it's just easier to see everything that I'm walking around. And here's the entryway into this cave base. Oh, that's weird. I didn't notice that earlier. Like, those are black until you get up close to them. That's weird. That's very strange. I am pretty convinced that they are tinkering with the code because lots of little things have been going wonky lately. I have a feeling we're about to get a new update. So here is the front room before you get into the rest of the cave base. I kind of envisioned this as a sort of therapeutic dispensary kind of meow wolf art walk kind of place. And so, you know, just there's the front desk for when people come in for the first time, and there's tea and there's some little pipes for nip nip scattered about, and then we've got the decals for all 20 expeditions. I guess once we get new expeditions, I'm going to need to figure out how to display the new ones. Or I'm going to need to shrink these decals down more to fit more of them on each couch. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll put the newer ones on the outside of this front desk right here. And so we've got the little robot wrapped around a synthesis core sitting on top of that little circular elevated spot on the desk. Got our base terminus with a save point up top. And then these two doors take us into the first of several chill spots where you can, you know, unwind with a little nip. And there's little details like the tops of these mushrooms have more decals on them. We've got the fauna face and the blobby. And then we just continue on. There's an aquarium. There's a coral and an anemone that I've placed inside there to give it a little extra character, other than just the regular, you know, stuff that's inside of it. There's a tiny, you can see that tiny anemone up at the top of the coral. That was fun to, it was a little bit of a pain to place it there, but I got it there eventually. Cable pods, nip buds, plenty to go around. And we've got this little vignette. I used to have a statue here of the spaceman, but I ended up changing that out for the Atlas statue. It looks really unusual. Again, it shouldn't be that dark. Just like the barnacles up in the front, but I do like it, that sort of black look to the Atlas statue. That's kind of nice. Alright, and then we'll take this road, sort of, it got stuck. Sort of little pathway journey to the rest of the base, and then it opens up into this wildness. And again, I wanted this to just be a wild looking art walk, and you could have a little nip and hang out in this base and just chill and just enjoy the scenery. Just look all around because there's something to see pretty much everywhere. Lots of colors, trippy, chill vibe. Come down this hill and we've got a large we've got this large mud hut here. And yeah, we're just kind of cruising on through. Some of this is brand new that I just did today, like this little area right here. When we walked in, there was one of these in the pathway. And so this is what I did in here to decorate these two. And I just placed several different kinds of lights. You can see the bio lantern sort of strobing in and out, really chill like. And then we've got this all nice and colorful with, I dropped some of the Titan statues. There were the Titan trophy. If you're unfamiliar with that, that is this right over here, this one, the Titanic trophy. It emits all of that blue light that you're seeing around. And then when you mix it with, there are several, just the lamp. And that used to be called the sodium lamp. And now it's just called the lantern now. So several of those are in there, and so you get a lot of orange and some red, and when it mixes with the blue you get lots of like purple around. So you can see some of the purple shining up on the ceiling up there. And that's also because right there in very tiny fashion are those same two items that I was talking about. Got the Titanic trophy and the lantern, and they're just shrunken down really small. And then this little light right here is casting some white light down to just brighten up the area so it's easier to see everything. And yeah, so then another part of this, that right there across the top, that is all new. I just did that tonight. And like this area over here was super dark and it didn't look all that great. So I put all the extra in, and oh, it's doing that thing. Occasionally I have this where the lights flicker on and off, especially on complex bases and very complex corvettes. So let's check out the mud hut. And we go in here and there's a giant UN 42 sticker decal right in there. No Man's High did last year join up with the UN in solidarity. And I've got this little seating area by the fireplace. And just various items. We've got the bar table and elevated chairs in order to make it look natural. So you can sit down in it now. And it's actually at a you know, a good height where your knees just go under the table, and it's like a, you know, it's like a regular chair. All right, so we head up, and we've got the kitchen. Still working on that. There could be a whole lot more stuff going on in here. Got the sink, double sink, the water pouring in. And then here's a little office workspace. And I want to add more stuff to this as well. And then this will have a bunch of furniture and other stuff popped in, sort of like a little little living room kind of area. And then here's a bedroom up in the top floor. I like the way all these vines hang down through here. And then we've got the little outdoor patio. Another save point. And let's continue on. This is the thing that I've been working on most recently. This was just like about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago that I was working on this part. Like these plants haven't even fully matured yet. Oh, and I've got that. Oh, yeah, that's supposed to be there. And so this wall I've been working on. I can go over how to do that if probably later on. But I'll continue on with the rest of the tour for those who haven't seen it before. And I've got this reversed negative space face. where the head is sort of a hollow area, and then we've got the eyes and nose that are made from the light table, and then we've got the desk, and there's another desk upside down kind of mirroring it, and so it's kind of got a mouth going, and we've got ears on the side in the form of those calcishrooms. And I think I need to knock out some of these stalactites. And then we've got this area right here. Little capillary shell grouping. I might rip all of that out and figure out something else to put in there. And then we've got this little pathway coming down with the glitching separator and some of the tube pipes. Ossified star and the hex plate bush. We cruise on down here. Got little bubbles. And then more barnacles. The barnacles work really great to throw some just slightly aqua tinted light diffused over a large area. It works out really well for that. Bubbles are looking really nice tonight. And then I've got this sort of droplet sculpture hanging down from the ceiling. That wasn't too difficult to put together, but I like how it turned out all around. And we've got this whole area. Some more ossified stars, anemones, and the curly coral parts. And then this little area. This is an homage to Monty Python. Now for something completely different. I had a message module here, but apparently they no longer work in caves, and every time I try to put one in here, the game deletes it. So that's not working. And then we've got more of the glitching separators up here, and the compound bulb, and what is that called again? The void husk. And then there's our UN42 decal again. And then I'll head back here and go into this part of the cave base, this little entryway. I'll just head down. This used to have glowing grass on this planet, and there was a bunch of it down here, and it made this like really incredible. It still looks pretty cool, just not quite as cool as it did before. There's still lots of color and interest, and it's still fun in here to just like have a seat, have some nip and just kind of look around and watch the colors. Whoa, that's getting out of hand. Uh-oh. Okay. That was, sorry about that. Doesn't usually do that. That's a new feature apparently. So let's go on up here and head back and start working on part of the base. It's fun to watch all the lights flicker on and off. Whenever you go on these panels, the light changes. You walk off the panel and it just goes dark again until you get closer to all the other colors. colorful stuff. Hit the save point real quick. And so I'm just playing with this wall of light boxes, and I created this so that I can just wire glitch objects on, and then I can do stuff like this too, which is me just free placing other objects. And so I can just free place this, get it right, line it up, and place it pretty easily. But then I can also go around and pick an item. It's really interesting. There's not a whole lot of items that actually look good on this kind of a wall, but there are some fun things, especially like it gets easier if you spread the wall out over a larger area and use larger objects. Then it turns into just a massive wall, but it can look really cool. You just have to plan out what you're sticking on the wall and how you're doing it. So, for instance, let's see here. Like we'll go for the aquatic crystal, and so right there, where that little wire point is right there in the middle of the screen. So here's the aquatic crystal. Then you hit for PlayStation remote, you're going to hit the triangle button that goes into the wire mode, and then you hit that button again along with the right trigger, and that places that object right there. And once you get in there, then you can change the colors. And you have to think that once all of this stuff is in place, then I'll go back and delete all of the light boxes. So it's just whatever is that I put in there. And then there'll be some lights back behind it to just give it like an ethereal glow. And so you can see on this top line, I've glitched all of this stuff around. We've got the what is that called? The saucer fungus. Then we've got calcishroom. Then we've got the capillary shell right behind it. And those kind of stack together make for like an interesting piece, a set piece. And then putting those all the way around in that semicircle it puts sort of like a crown on top of the rest of the design. So, don't know if I'm liking the aquatic crystal. I wish these would have grown in the last couple of hours so that I could see what those fully formed look like. But I'll give you an idea of what it's supposed to look like here. There we go, and that's the Gravitino host. And let me sink that back down where it's supposed to be back in there. Try this angle. This angle's a little better. Right, so it'll be something like this basically. And it'll take up that little window looking spot right there. So yeah, I've got a bunch of those along the bottom. And unfortunately I won't know how that is going to end up looking until those grow in. So I might just tinker with some other stuff. Like I've got some of the mushroom here, and those kind of nice as when it's night out, those will kind of fade in and out with the sort of mushroom animation that happens on these planets. Okay, so another thing I could put is the venom urchin. Let's see how that looks over here. No, that doesn't really fit that space very well. I'm going to delete that out. Okay, what does the Mordite root look like? That would be cool if it was facing the right direction, but that's not really quite working out. Synthesis core, no, that's not quite what we're looking for. What does the wriggling companion look like? I have a feeling it's not going to hit that space right. One of the things that usually fits in here is the anemone. Oh wait, what is the Atlas statue like? Is that going to fit in the right? Nope, that's not facing the right direction. What about the blob statue? I think that also does not fit the correct direction. Yep. All right. There's got to be something that will work. Let's go for that anemone. That definitely fits. But we want to do some kind of that'll tie in with the red up at the top. So let's do some more of that. And we may just need to do a few of these and go on to something else because I really can't tell what's going to work until the Gravitino host grows into its normal size. But I can put some other stuff around. Oops, put that in the wrong spot. I can put some other things around. Just want to check something out here. Okay. All right. What else can we test out? Oh, there's the animation. Must be night outside finally. So we can see that kind of pulsing in and out. And the colors go well with the colors up top. So that's a possibility. But I am curious what that looks like kind of melded in between it. I think that might be a little too much. So I'm going to take that back out if I can reach it. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to pop these two out right now. But I will copy this one and put it up here. I'll do one more. Almost got it. There we go. Yeah, I think that's about as good as we can get that. All right. Try to, I think this can be way too, that's way too big. That's going to be too big. What else have we got? Is that going to go in the right direction? That's a big key here. Nope, goes off to the side. Don't think those are gonna, that would be cool if it didn't have the stalk on it. And it was smaller. Like that's way too big. way too big. A lot of these aren't going to glitch in the proper direction. I think that's too big. Not too big, but doesn't look right. Way too big. Okay. Let's try not that. Let's try the living fragment B. And then grab the living fragment A. Put that on the same, kind of bulk it up a little bit. It's kind of neat, but it's not quite doing it for me. Alright, that's bugging me. My avatar was standing in such a way that the foot was constantly twitching. It was a little distracting. What does the cube look like? Okay. It fits. It fits right in there. Put a few of those down. I'm going to need to put some more light blocks down below, I think, in order to get, if I were to go with those. That's kind of cool looking. if I'm being quite honest, and I might not even have to pull the light boxes out of there for that to be a really cool option. But what does it look like to have both of those in there? Might be a little too busy, but doesn't look half bad. Putting those together is kind of a neat effect. That's not bad. Let's put another one in there, see what that looks like. That's not a half bad effect, if I'm being quite honest. Okay, that's a distinct possibility. All right, and a couple of these, I've got the curly coral on there to see what that looks like once the Gravitino host grows into its full size. This one has the Gravitino host by itself. And grab another one, put it up on the one above it so we can get a good look to see what that's going to look like once it's all done. And then I'll do over here, I'll copy that curly coral and put it up there. And I think we'll have to leave this part alone until the Gravitino host grows in and we can really see. I feel like it should have already grown in, but for whatever reason it hasn't. So let's go over and figure out another place to work on. Let me come back over here. One thing I could do, I think there's a couple more of this thing around, and I can do this same thing what I did this earlier today. I did these two items. They're really dull looking alone, but when you spruce them up with some lighting and these little jelly guys, it looks like they're, you know, like rising up out of this ooze to come get you. And I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, so we've got that. Again, I put this up here across the top earlier today as well. And this is just the floor mat, just free placed. I put a bunch of them all over the ceiling just to reflect some of that light back around. There's been a couple of updates, and so there's a lot more of that floor mat completely sunken into the ceiling, like the ceiling moved a bit. So I might need to come back and mess with that a little bit and kind of pull it back out of the ceiling. I feel like I'm hearing a poisonous plant somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. I don't know where it is. I can hear it. Oh well. Okay. So let's see. Like I started making this base over 5 years ago, or probably right at 5 years ago is when I started making this. And it's gone through lots of iterations, lots of changes over time as I've learned better base building techniques. One thing I forgot to do was figure out how many base parts I'm dealing with on this. I forgot to hop into the save editor before starting the stream. That would have been nice to know, so I know how much crazy stuff I can put in here. And let's see. I kind of like this right here, but I feel like it's a little on the dated side and I could do better than that. Like, this has been around for like a big chunk of the time. This was probably 3-ish years ago that I did this part. So I think I'll just delete all of that out. And then I can start to look for parts that will go well in this space. But also kind of do something interesting, like this whole glitch cylinder, if you will, that I put over here. But something that'll also fit in that space. So I think what I might do is an octo cabinet. So we're going to start off with let's start off with a small timber panel, and I need a flat surface to, here we go, glitch up against. So I've got that. Now I've got this 90-degree small floor. And what that's going to allow me to do is make a flat space that's nice and pretty much perfectly flat. And then I can come back here, get the terrain manipulator, and clear off that rock right there. So now I have a nice, very flat space to begin with. Come over here to this tab, the furnishings, find the octo cabinet. What color do we want to start off with? Let's do a purple. Often start off in purple. And I'm going to look at that space and try to find the flattest, or the most central kind of spot on here. Both in terms of side to side and from ceiling to floor. So I want something, I think, about here. I'm kind of measuring this, eyeballing it. Let's go ahead and put it there. So next we're going to go into wire mode. And for PlayStation, it's the triangle button. For Xbox, it is just the top of the 4 buttons. I think that's Y is at the top. I can't remember exactly, but I think so. Hey, Depths, welcome in. What's happening? How are you doing? Good morning on your side of the planet. It is half an hour till midnight where I'm at. And we're just doing a little glitch building in this base right here. This is Devil's Dream. This is one of my earlier bases on No Man's High. It's gone through a lot of changes over the years. 7:30 for you. All right, right on. So it's gone through so many changes over the years, and I like to revamp it every now and then and bring it up to date with my abilities. And So that's what we're doing, kind of renovating for today. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's pretty huge. It's a pretty huge cave system. Like a lot of the caves are pretty big on this planet. This is our capital planet in Euclid. And so we're doing an octo stack. I came up with the idea for this, and then Enra Silver came up with the name octo stack, and it kind of stuck. So what we're going to do is find a spot in the center of that panel, and then we're going to draw a wire down just like that. And for purposes of showing how this works, I'm going to then draw one going from that direction up. And you just try to center it as best you can. When it comes right down to it, you're not gonna the difference is going to be so subtle that you're not going to be able to easily tell that that something is off a tiny bit. But why I drew it in two different directions is to show you how things display once you snap it to these points. So we're going to hop over and grab the capillary shell because that's one of the easiest to show how this works. And where the hell's the capillary? Oh wait, it's down here. Derp. There we go, capillary shell. And so we go to wire mode, and then we hover over that wire snap point, and we hit the triangle, which is toggle wire, and the place object, which is the right trigger. So you hit those together, and you can see that the bright lit area with the color is facing away. So if you come over here to this other one and do the same thing, it is now facing in the opposite direction. And interestingly enough, an object like the Atlas statue, when you do it that way, it faces the right way out. But when you flip it over here, it faces the wrong way out. It still makes for an interesting stack, but sometimes you want those both facing the correct way, and then you have to sort of do a thing where you double layer the wire. And so by double layering the wire, you can then pull that off. So this one we drew from there to the forward. So we're going to put forward back to the opposite side. Let's see if that took correctly. And it might not flip the correct way because of... Okay, that one's flipping the correct way. So now what we can do... I was going to try to pull this other capillary shell off, but it's kind of buried under. So we're just going to grab it again from this one. If it'll let us. No, it won't. It's alright, we can hop over here and grab another one. There we go. So then you can have that by flipping the wire back around. And honestly, that looks kind of cool. I've done similar stuff before, but before we get started, I'm gonna pull these back out, and we're gonna continue on with putting the wires around the entire octo cabinet. And while the setup can be a little bit tedious, it is well worth it. Just like any other kind of glitch building, it takes a little bit to get your scaffolding right. Like this over here. Took me a while to put that in that sort of semicircle pattern with all of those light boxes stacked up on top of each other. Took a while to do that, but once it's done, then I can just have fun and pull things apart easily, try new objects, and it makes it easier with all of that scaffolding in place. And then the designs just are kind of endless at that point. It gets a little tricky after a while, trying to not engage the snap points on the other wires on the other side. So you have to kind of get in close to mess with everything. So if you pull back a little too far, then you start trying to snap to all of those points. You have to come in really close, but without snap points behind you. And then just do that. But I'm getting one way back there, so you have to keep messing around with these angles. And there are different versions of this octo stack. You can also draw wires on the base. You can angle the wires. You can pull a wire from this face over to the bottom of this face. And that puts a twist on the wire, and therefore when you place the part, it'll put it at a much different angle. So there's lots of different ways you can use this sort of octo cabinet for scaffolding. And the other way you can utilize this same technique is on the hex table. And so you're working with 6 sides instead of 8 sides. So again, it adds another possibility for design. And maybe later on I can do a field trip and show off some of the other ways that I've used this design element. Okay, so question is, do I want to make all of them double wires? Why not? The trick will be getting them to flow correctly with the right parts. Okay. It's trying to grab the wrong the wrong wire. Okay. It does, like I say, get tricky. And sometimes frustrating. I might scrap this. And it's much harder to do this on the wall than it is like in an open space. Okay. Why is it It is not working the way it's supposed to be working. What's going on here? Okay. Start drawing the wire there. Oh, it drew it from... Oh, no wonder it was drawing it from the wrong spot. Okay. Ah, okay. They messed up the wire and how everything connects. So it's been really a pain in the butt to get this to work correctly. Okay, that got it. Okay. You've got to really pay attention to where you're hitting so you're getting the right connector to the right connector. And you can see the subtle shifts as I am cutting across. You can see it shift back and forth between these two spaces right here. And so you want to make sure that you get that back one. Not that one, but the back one. And that one comes out and down. There we go. So now we've got wire in two directions. But before we go and do that, we're going to put another layer of wire on the base. And so the base is a little more flared out. Another thing you can do when dropping these wires down before you drop the wire, you can change the color. You should. Oh, that's weird. It's not working. You can always change the color of the wire after you've set it to. So go in, and then the things that you snap to it will be that color. We're just going to switch it back because I don't want to change every single one of those right now. Okay, we're going to continue on. Okay, that was getting to be really, there we go. And you can see when you come down all the way to this part, it has a subtle shift in it. So I like to try to keep it above that, or right at that little line. Yeah. Alright, that one's kind of way off. There we go. Ooh, that one was way off. A little bit off is one thing, but when it's that far off, you can really tell there's a twist in the wire. Alright, come on. And that's another thing that you can do. I'll show you right here. So you're setting this piece right here, and you can go and then drag this all the way up to the top here. And so that is another possibility of angles, and you can see that angle right there. And so that just pitches everything up a little bit. We'll take that back out, since that's not what we're messing with today. And we keep going. All right, and we just got 3 more wires to go. All right, 1 more. There we have it. Okay, so now we can, I'm going to go ahead and delete that off of there. And now we start experimenting. So one of the things we can do is, let's check out some of the newer parts. That one's too long. Where is that? Here we go, the lantern kelp. Let's see if this is too big or not. Oh, that just buried right into the wall. That's way too big. I should have pulled it out from the wall a little bit more. The other thing I need to do is fill back. Close that back in. So I know what we're dealing with there. And I think this is a little too close to use these back wires, because while I should have looked at that a little closer. That's all right. We can still just delete those because they're going to be kind of useless. And they can potentially get in the way with the other stuff that we're going to try out. Catch up with you, Dash. I need to go to work. Have a great day. You too, man. Have a great day. And we'll catch you later. After you've worked and I've gone to sleep. Okay. So let's try, what did we have earlier? We had the gold Atlas statue. We're going to drop that. Okay, that's in the front. Try to put it in the back. Okay, that flipped it around. Okay. This is where we need to, well, cut a hole back into the wall. And that's going to make it easier to make the things go in the right directions. Since we have wires going in both directions, we need to then, in order to place these in the right way, you need to go from the opposite direction. So placing that there, and then copy it and do the same thing, but from this direction. Oh wait, that put it in the wrong spot. There we go. So you can see it has flipped it around on that same exact spot. So that's the one we want to keep, and then we want to delete that one. So that's how putting the two wires in over each other, just facing in opposite directions, will get us, will open up the possibilities for flipping certain objects around to the way that we want them. So now we'll come over here, grab the capillary shell, and we're going to go to do that from this side. And now we have that. So let's go back here. Copy that, and we're going to, again, we have to pay really close attention to where these snap. And it's not nearly as convoluted if you're only using one direction of the wire, but I'm being difficult tonight. So I sometimes make things really difficult on myself. So yeah, there's that. And I might abandon that because this might just be a little too annoying to accomplish. Okay. But we're going to try it anyway. Okay, that is not cooperating. It would be a whole lot better if these wire snap points were not messed up. Like it should connect directly over that and not behind it, but it's not. This might be more frustrating than it's worth. Might just. Hey, Krusty, how you doing? You just waking up too? Why is that not? Okay. I might be scrapping this idea because this is turning into kind of a pain in the ass. It is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. It worked fine for the first one we did. It is not flipping around the way it's supposed to. Alright, let's see if we just scrap that and just do this all the way around. And then we will just scrap the idea of putting the Atlas statue in there at all. Unfortunately, because watching me finagle something that's not working is probably boring as fuck. So we're not gonna continue on in that fashion. Alright, so now we've got this star. And we want to add a little bit more flair to it. So, what do we want to add? What does the tassel lily look like? That's going to need to be on the front side of that wire. So we're going to try this again and do this. Okay, yellow maybe? Nope, that's on the front. I mean, that's on the back. There we go, that's on the front. I can delete that one. And continue all the way around. And then sometimes you'll not put it in the right spot, and you can just fix that in post. So then you have that look. Another thing you can do is come in here and put wires here in the center. And that'll allow you to put all manner of stuff going out. But I probably should have done this earlier. Yeah, I probably should have done that first. But that's okay. I got one wire down, and that's all that kind of matters, really, because oh, look at that, the way the wind is blowing. Oh, that's pretty cool. That is really cool. All right. So then we want some other parts, and I often go with the, let's try the curly coral. And we'll go on the back side. Let's see what the back side looks like. That one is twisted around the not great way. All right. Okay, let's go out. And just keep on. Sometimes once I get into a groove, like everything kind of snaps into place, cooperates. Other times it does not. Perseverance is what I'm saying. So now we've got that, and you can see all of that fun motion in there. Especially when it rains. And then we want some kind of object in the center. Let me go through and see what we've got that'll be interesting. Oh, we could just do another tassel lily, but this time in the sort of lilac. Purple might be a little bit better. Oh, now it's not letting me snap onto that center point. Oh, that's so weird. Nope, that definitely was not it. Well, in lieu of that, I might need to do something different and sort of hand place it, which is doable. Just have to do something like this. But the plus side on that is that we can expand it out. And that makes for a cool design. Oh, and that dark purple is kind of neat for that, to kind of offset the rest of the color. But I do want to see what that will look like. Lighter. Doesn't quite go. But I could try to do what else? What else? It's really weird that it won't let me snap to that center point. It's a little rude, if I do say so myself. Oh, there it is up there. There it is. So now I gotta find that. Oh, but it's lit up. Ah, there we go. That will connect back here to these lights. So that will have power. Oh, and I should. Why don't I have... Why is that showing up? That should not be showing up. I know I buried one of those things in here somewhere. Okay. I know I've got a cloaking unit in this base somewhere, but I'm going to go ahead and put another one in there. Super weird. Okay. Let's repair that wall. But careful not to repair everything, because in a lot of these places that's where the hazardous plants grow, And by kicking those out, I don't have to deal with, there's a bunch of them down there that I had to clear out. And save all those, so many terrain edits just to keep those things from coming back. Man, what a pain. So there we have it. You know, it's a nice design. The flowers are great. The lilies gives it some dimension, and we've got the white light in the center, making that flower in the center really pop. And it's another part of the greater design of this whole place. So we've got that out of the way. These still have not grown, and I don't know why they're not growing. Not even a little bit. They should have grown. Although that one looks a little bit larger than it was originally. I can't tell. It doesn't look like they've grown at all, though. There might be something wrong with the plants. But also, okay, discovery services are active. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see if we can find another one of those rock formations to dink with. Oh, here we go. Right here. Oh, I hear more. Where are they at? There it is. Fuck off. Get out of here. So sometime in the last, like when they've updated the Corvettes, they've also stuck in some other stuff. Like these. These weren't here before. Before, there were these giant poop-like rocks that really mucked up the place. I mean, these still kind of look like poop, but at least they have pretty lights growing out of them now, I guess. That's kind of okay, I guess. So we're going to transform this into a fun feature. It's got this great motion in it, but you know, back here you don't really. It's not really active. It's not really alive. So we're going to dress that up a little bit. And we'll do that by starting off with let's do, I'm going to do it just like the ones in the other part of the base. If you weren't here for that, this is basically the same thing as what I did over there. And so you kind of drop these synthesis cores in, shrink them down to size. I think I want to move that one and shrink it down a little bit. And they just, a lot of these base parts will just bury themselves inside this feature here. So it's super easy to do some of these things. There you go, and it just kind of sticks out. And already it's more interesting than it was. So then we're going to come down and grab our wriggling companion. And this one we can make pretty good size. You still want it to be like smaller than that little area because you don't want it sticking around. But you can make them pretty decent sized. And then this one, you can shrink it down, turn it a little bit, and drop it in there. Then we're going to come over and so one of the things, I am running mods, so some of the things that I'm shrinking down, I can actually shrink them down smaller than the game intends it to be, making this a little bit easier. But there are still ways that you can achieve similar goals. So with this, I would normally come in and grab a Titanic trophy and shrink it way down, but the game won't let you shrink it down like smaller than like that, I think. And that's not kind of working. I mean, you can, yeah, you can get it in there. You can get it so it does not really stick out too much. So yeah, like you should be able to do this without. But the other way you can do this, achieve the same thing, you want that blue light. So you come back over here to the holographic globe gadget. So this is a little bit, it's not as intensely like deep blue as the Titanic skull, but it's so much easier to hide, and it does cast off a little bit more light. So you can do that. And then you can put another one over here on this side. And then another thing you can do is come over here. And what we're trying to do in all of this is build up an effect. So you sink some of these lanterns inside here as well. And that's given us some like orange and red lighting. And it also blends with the blue, and you can see sort of magenta and other purple hues kind of come out as well. Tuck that in there, and you can see it's already a way more interesting feature than it started out. But we're not done yet. So we're going to take the bio lantern and we're going to shrink it down. And these little pillars right here make it super easy to hide these. And we're going to come in and do several of them. And I like adding effects that you can hide the lighting. And now just watch that. And you can see the bio lanterns kind of flicker in and out. And that gives like movement and lighting and interest in an otherwise kind of boring part. And you've built this whole effect, and you can do other things like let me see if we can do this here. Let me see what wonders I have at my disposal. Catalog and guide, wonders. And we're going to go over to personal records. So we have all of these. I do not have a part that I was hoping for, One of the things you can do is there are several different fauna that once you scan them, turn them into a wonder, they'll give off like a fog. Like there's the fish that flies through the air and blows blue smoke everywhere. If you grab that, shrink the wonder way down and hide it within an object and then put that fish as a wonder, then it makes a blue fog around whatever object you've got. But we don't have any one of those on this save file. So let me think. Oh, there is an object that we have at our disposal that will give us some fog. And that is over here in the exotic decorations. And that is the Troglo tulip. You can already see that haze. And what we're going to do is we can stick it just back here. You don't even really need to hide this because it's decorative. It is a nice little flower, and you can just change it. It's got multiple colors, but it gives some fog effect over here, and you can increase that by adding more. And I hear another one of those. There's a cluster of them up there. I think I tripped it when I came over here. Anyway, I don't see it. So there's that. So that's a way you can just sort of easily. It doesn't take a lot like glitch building. You don't. There's nothing involved as far as that's concerned on something like that. Super easy to do. Add effects, minimal work, high impact on a space. Let's see, what else can we do? You can do simple stuff like just stacking things on top of each other. None of this was glitch built. This was just me sticking parts to the ceiling and sinking other parts inside them. Super easy to do. These are just stuck here and then with lights behind it to make it really glow bright. And yeah, so what else can we get up to today? Might want to overhaul this whole walkway. And these were all, this was hand placed in here. Well, the first one was hand placed, and I messed with it for a while to get just the right angle going down. So it would prevent a lot of these rocks from growing up through, because you could not walk through here at all. It was kind of a pain in the ass. So I had to go through here, manipulate the terrain, and make it so where it was easier to walk. Okay. Take a look over here. I like the way these mushrooms are kind of popping in and out with that glow turning off and on. The octo cabinet design was way better than what was here before. Might think about you know what, something really simple just to accent it. What I wanted to put up here in the first place that didn't work here was just some lantern kelp. And I don't even have to do a whole lot. And it's just, again, to accent it a little bit. I can change the colors to, oh, I like that. It's more blue. I want to go with this purple because it also has that pink in there, and that draws those colors from the octo cabinet glitch that we did just a minute ago. Yeah, that's a nice accent, and it separates, it creates a segue between the larger items and that little wall panel right there, which I don't know what I want to do here, but I definitely want to do something different. This whole thing was such a nightmare to put in. It looks easy. It was not. It was not easy to do this at all. But yeah, I do want to do something different though. Just not sure what. Okay. What else do we have here? Come down a bit. This is all new up across the top. And then here's the original ones that I did a few hours ago. And it really breathed a lot of life into this area. I put the barnacles up on the ceiling, and you can see it's kind of hard to tell, but like right there is the Titanic skull and a lantern shrunk down really small. If you're just walking around, you can't really see it unless you're paying attention to the little tiny objects up there. And then there's this little tri-light right there, and it's just adding a bunch of extra light. So you've got all the blues and purple light up on the ceiling from the lantern and the Titanic sculpture put together. So lighting effects go a long way to really making a base pop. And one of my specialties is lighting. And this is kind of this whole build is meant to be like, wow, oh my god, this is like so much to look at. And I think I've accomplished it pretty nice, actually. But it can be better. And I gotta say, I love when the storm comes in and these flowers over here start pulsing even more wildly. That's super cool. I love it. And if you have any questions about anything that I'm doing or anything that you see, feel free to let me know. And oh, there's another one up there. Silence. So I'm going to take a quick second to come back here. And we're going to take this short-range teleporter back to where this is. And we're going to do an upload. Upload base. And then we can go back. I like to keep the base computer about 300 plus units away from the portal. It's just better that way. And it just makes things show up easier for people who are visiting I don't know how accurate it is, but it used to be that um, Hello Games would make things within like a base computer within 300 U of a portal. They would make it sort of invisible so people couldn't easily block um, portals, but I still see people building around them. So I don't think that's entirely accurate. I think it was accurate for a while, but I still like to keep the base computer away from the portal at that distance. Just to make sure, because I want people to be able to see the base. Because if they don't see the base that's right next to the portal, they themselves will build next to the portal. And that gets super annoying. Because at one point we had like 5 bases on top of the portal, and that was just too much. I'm just going to pop back outside real quick during this storm. Just take a break from base building for a minute. Here's a couple more of this feature that are blocking the path. I think I just want to get rid of those because they're blocking the path of Nip Nip. These are fantastic and fun creatures. They look so sad, but they are kind of hilarious to fly on. There we go. Gently milk. Instead, I will ride. Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. Oh wait, that was correct. Wrong direction. There we go. This just freaking cracks me up every time. Just the way you ride these is hilarious. It's like a sled. And it's like you're like smooching it. It's so weird. Sean's got some really weird ideas on how all of this is supposed to work. Here, check out this sunrise on Blue Dream as we kiss the jelly. This is freaking ridiculous. Gonna get a close-up of that ridiculousness. Alright. One hell of a planet. Not many sunsets like this in this game. See what bases we have laying around. There's Quick Nip. That's spare parts base. Hey, how you doing? What a time to join the stream only to hear Gently Milk. No, I will ride. You're welcome. You're welcome for that one. You are very welcome. Okay. So I think we might go check out a couple of other bases here. Just for kicks, because I want a little bit of a break from base building. I've been kind of doing a lot of it. Oh, I forgot I've got a kaleidoscope up there that I never finished. I need to figure out finishing that. High Times, a famished lamb's base, dead parrots base, Waybinder's base. Wait, didn't Waybinder have another base over here? Yeah. 2 bases. Okay. What else have we got? Corvy's base. Solo for like some of these are pretty new. Okay, there's Living Louds. Jellyfish Coal, Titanium Sparrow. I don't know who half these people are. But cool. I'm glad they're here building. As long as they're not being douchey, I'm all about it. There was somebody that popped in here earlier. I don't know who they are. I don't know if you're watching. But their username was Dick Pics for Crypto. That's a hell of a personality to choose. But hey, you know, cool. To each their own. But let's see. There's a cluster of stuff that I don't think I've seen before. Well, I've seen Dead Parrot Space. Well, let's check out a couple of those over there. Let's hop in Root Beer Float. That's the name of this. That's the name of this Corvette. And it has a sort of, looks like root beer color. I was wondering if you were going to quote that. Good job. Alright, that's Waybinder's base. Let's go check that one out. Oh, that's on a different planet. Alright, it's Dioxite. What have we here? Cruising on in. Pop outside. Oh, what's all this then? Wonder if that's where all their power is, I bet. Yep, solar panels. Free to take. Supply depot. Hey, we've got a nice chunk of dioxide. Let's toss it in the freighter. Not that I really need it. Got lots of sac venom here. I like the color combo on the sac venom. Purple, magenta, and green. That looks nice together. Ooh, let's just transport. Other bases. Oh wow, it looks like Spare Parts has really added a bunch more to that base. We might need to go check that out. Haven't been there in a while. Looks like he has really gone upped his game. Okay, here's Waybinder again. Quote entered wrong one time on phone. It keeps fixing it wrong. Oh no. Are you sure? It looks like it's working. Oh, but it's not. Oh, it's okay. It says you successfully added it. Fixing. Okay. Oh, we're on this planet. Oh yeah, don't come here very often. 1-800-DANK-NUG. We might need to go check that one out. Alright, this is kind of the same vibe, but it's ammonia. Pretty much the same base, just a different resource. Astrobiotic buds. Okay, I went there on my last stream that I came here. Titanium sparrow. Let's check that out. I've been building a low orbit base so I can jump into space and enter my Corvette. It's just at the height between atmosphere and space. Right on. I have yet to do, like, of all the bases I've done, I've never done a an upper atmosphere base. I started to do one a long time ago, and then something happened, and I ended up deleting it. Oh, this is cool. Little proximity switch. Oh, it's the pressure plate switch. Can just have a sit. In the shadow of my Corvette. It sure would be nice to get rid of that vignette for an entire game session. Oh, nice. Oh, this is fun. Got lots of seating areas. Nip buds and plants. It's like a little cafe almost. Where you can just I like this whole area with the caves. Oh, check out the cave here. That is so freaking cool. Just that purple. I came into photo mode to see. Sometimes when the angle is right, it'll really like change the colors of the cave walls. And so you get stuff like this. Almost looks like sunken in eyes. And that's the creepy vibe I'm after. That just looks cool. What does it look like up here? Looks like more eyes. Pretty sweet. I like this garden vibe with all the writhing bushes and the nip-nip buds, the nip-nip plants. That's a pretty diner. Yeah. It has a nice diner vibe to it. Outdoor diner. It would be great if all the plants that you plant when you walk through them, it just like makes them move. Oh, I just noticed the igneous crystals in there. That gives a nice little added bonus to this little scene, I think. Second level. Oh, it looks like they're still working on it. I'll have to come back visit for another time. Oh yeah, there you go. These creatures, man. The stuff. Like, that's some bad dragon shit right there. If you know, you know. Oh, there's this whole area back here I didn't even see. Ah, look at that. That's just cool. I like that. I like that little scene. How this just leads to the other side right here. Got the landing pad. That's super cool. Alright, whose base is this again? Oh, that's not spare parts. Where's the base computer? Oh, is that it up there? Yeah, titanium sparrow. Cool. I don't know who that is. But I dig it. Let's go traveling some more. Oh yeah. Okay. I want to go back over to that planet and check out 1-800 Dank Nug. Whoa. All right. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting. Oh, wait, I've been here before. This hasn't shown up in a long time. I think this is the same one. Yeah, I remember a giant tiered nip farm around two landing pads on this. Yeah. Man, it's been a long time since I've seen this base show up on this planet. Very cool. And little habit trails so you can avoid the storms. And get you to each one of these domes to harvest. Oh, next time, like a couple of people were asking, about some gut rot. And now I know I can just point them here to this base. Sweet. Oh, and now we're inside of the pavilion on the trading post. Wow, that's a lot of fucking nip. That is so much nip. But I do like the way this is set up. And it's very convenient. You can harvest everything and then sell it immediately. Not that I need anything on this save file. Oh, where was the... Oh, the upper level to this. Right on. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Right, okay. Okay, cool. That's pretty dope. It looks like they have changed it a bit since the last time I saw it, which is probably why it's now showing up. They might have come back and done some revamp stuff to it. I want to check out High Times by Famished Lamb. Okay. Not a whole lot. They started. Wow, this is a pretty big setup. It's a huge building. This is absolutely massive. And it just keeps on going. Holy cow, how big is this place? Dang, that's pretty big. That is pretty big. Way larger than my Corvette. By a lot. Oh, there's the terminus. We're just going to use it through the floor. What's where are we going now? Is this in this system? Some man's base? Okay. Wow. Several new bases. This is cool. Let's see, I think this is... I think so. Yeah, let's check it out. Yep. Yep, in the same system. Oh, I like how well that is sunken into the wall. That's very nice. Oh, and then a doorway. Oh, I dig it. Oh, crashed ship. That's a great use. You got an abandoned building and a crashed ship. Or two crash ships. Yeah, there's two different cockpits, so yeah, two different ships. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice setup. See what's down this other side. Oh, set up a chair. Kind of a minimalist base, but it looks really cool. I like it a lot. Okay, where to next? You know, I think I'm going to I'm gonna go visit another one of my old bases. This was my first really big base in No Man's High, but the main building is very different from how I originally had it. It looked just like this sort of modern mansion building kind of looking thing, and I decided it was too blocky and boring. So I decided instead to just go completely over the top. And so we're going to check that out. This is Devil's Lettuce on the planet Sour Diesel in the Dankonia system in No Man's High. This system is really close to our capital system, which is where we just were. And we'll start off by coming out here and taking a look from a distance. Nope, it's not. I flew too far away. Now it's not rendering. Okay. There we go. But it is a lot for the game to try and render. And my ship is also in the way. That Corvette is taking up too much. So you go over there. Let's see if we can get all this to light up properly. And take a look around. And the colors kind of fading in and out. That's a shame that the color is doing that. I mean, granted, this is a... so looking down, it's fine. To a point. I mean, it is like, this is like 2,300 parts. Oh, that's super annoying that the color is doing that. All the lights are popping in and out. So yeah, I decided to go really over the top for this one. Got a giant terminus right there at the top. Hey Andre, welcome in. How you doing? Just checking out one of my old bases. I was working on a different one earlier, doing some remodeling. And now we're just checking out this one for fun. Oh man, that's so annoying that the lights are flickering on and off like this. This was just a wild concept that I came up with on the fly, and just let it kind of take me away. It was fun. I cut a video for this one and everything. Posted it. It's up on my Reddit page. Oh, okay, it's actually maintaining better. Ah, spoke too soon. I was like, oh, me being in first person is better, but not necessarily. And so down there, I've got a super giant light fissure, and then up at the top, there's one pointing down in the exact same trajectory, just in opposite directions. And then these are not showing up. That's weird. Holographic globe gadgets should be showing up like big giant disco balls right now, but they're not. Fine. Maybe because I do have more than 10 of them on this base. So I've got lots of little sculpture-like things all around. I've got the inside of that one right there. The curly coral in the center. And then here is the back room where all the vaults are. And then out the back is the stairway up to the landing pads. And there's sort of a little runway, just a short runway through the back here. And you can see the red glow from these lanterns lighting the way as you enter in from that direction. Oh, look, we got the sun coming up. Very nice. Very nice. Here's the back. You can enter in. We'll go up on the next level up. This is a fun but complicated stack to pull off. Trying to get that all lined up was not easy to do. Ooh, I need to fill those out. Copy that. Flip it over to that. Okay, come on, stick drift. Stop doing that. There we go. Updated. It has been a little bit since I've been here. Seven, 20. Yeah, there we go. And so I've got little seating areas. There's another landing pad right off to the side. And I built this sort of unique stairway path to be able to go to both levels and also have it all balanced and the entryways balanced. And of course, at night, it really glows. We've got that centerpiece up there. There's somewhere around, I think I estimated it like 300 lanterns on this whole build. There's so many lanterns over this whole thing. But it really sets it off. It really sparks the whole design off. Ties the whole design together. Let's put it that way. Alright, so come back over here. And more of the seating areas. And then we have a bar. This was one of the earliest bars that I did. And I created these little tables. Or made it, oh wow. Yeah, I need to redo this because the stools are way too tall. Way too tall. I've since changed how I do them. I use the smaller crate. Overall, it still looks pretty good. But these are my bartenders that I use at everywhere I have a bar. I use the same bartenders. It's a jelly with the fauna decal and then some kind of plant for hair. And this is like this is easily a 5-year plus base, more than 5 years old. Some nice subtle lighting right there. Oops, right there in the corner. And I've got these. This goes up to this next level. And then there's the terminus, which if you get up here, you can, I think you can use it somewhere up here. Yeah, up there. And then that was a wild thing to put together. The race force magnifiers and this black box with all of the red light fissures coming down. These used to be this incredible blue, but they keep dinking with the colors of the glitching separators and they just don't look as cool as they used to. Got a fun dance floor. Again, they've messed with the lighting, the floor tiles. The color on those is really weird now. We've got the holographic room chart projector. And then the, what was that? The watchful protrusion. Upside down like a chandelier. And embedded inside there are little lanterns to give that glow. Here's another bar, and these guys have different hair. Yeah, I need to come back here and change those chairs out. And then there's this sort of chill, sort of nip hanging out spot. I made the carpet giant, but that made everything above it elevated really high, so it's just kind of hovering there. Not what I intended, but that's what we've got. More seating areas. And then we can go back down and then hop over here and go up to the roof. And then you can see the channel down. Oh man, that has shifted over. That has shifted over a little bit. Interesting. And we've got this fun dining area for you to just chill out with your buds. For a lovely evening under the stars. And I do love the waterway straight out the front. And the sun, when the sun comes, or when the sun goes down, it's like right just slightly off center. It's like over here or something like that. But man, it's a cool inlet. And then we've got this little area, a little watering hole, and this giant sculpture. Those reality generators up there, those were so hard to put in the right spot. But the effect in the end is pretty cool. I like how it came out. And then at night, it looks pretty great. Some extra large nip plants round out the whole design. And then the watering hole, of course. And the cave system under here is pretty darn robust. Oops. It just keeps on going underneath the area where the inlet is. So yeah, like lots of caves through this whole area. And then just to be silly, an aquarium under the water. Just completely silly. Oh, so yeah, here we are. And I think this is where we're going to call it for today. We saw some fun stuff, worked on some projects, did some base tours, and we'll do some more Tomorrow I'm going to do one more. We're going to do I think another Corvette show on the Winterfest planet for No Man's High. So if you're interested in that, come and check that out tomorrow afternoon. So like that's going to be in about 13 hours from now. I'll be doing that. So yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit that like button. It'll help me out with the algorithm thingy. And if you haven't already subscribed and you like what I do, I also show you how to take better pictures, other glitch building techniques. And by taking better pictures, I mean like doing virtual photography, screenshots, effects, and how to cut, uh, how to compose a picture, how to make the lines work for you, and just do better at photography. So yeah, base tours and building and photography and goofing around with my friends. Those are all things that I like to get up to. If you want to check out some of that stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I go live. But until then, until next time, it's me, Dashboard Devil, signing off, and hope to see you around. Until then,